I want to switch this. I want to change the focus to this UConn team right now.
Yep.
I have said for the last week and a half that we need to have a real conversation about where Tristen Newton is in terms of best guards, in terms of best players, in terms of All-Americans, in college basketball nationally. And I think that a lot of people got a chance to see what UConn fans have seen over the course of, let's say, the last 2 months of last season and the start of this season. He had a couple dry spells. January was not good for him at all. But when he's at his best, Jeff, I don't know how many guards in college basketball are as good as him. I don't think he could have been any better tonight. 31 points, 10 for 18 from the floor, 6 and 9 from 3.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of agree with you. Like, Tristen Newton has established himself. You know, I'm not taking him over a lot of these other guys, but he deserves to be mentioned in them, right? Like, he's not a pure point. He's not really a point. But what he is he can still initiate your offense, and he's become a big-time shooter who just does it quietly, right? He just kind of does it quietly. You look up there, and you're like, every night now, I feel like he can go for 20. Tonight he went for 31, and like you said, if he had any help, like Alex Caravan wasn't very good tonight, right? Like, so LaBall didn't do a whole lot offensively. Klingon really was too quiet. Like, Klingon needed to be a man tonight. And I know it's hard to do against Hunter Dickinson, but he needed to be a man, and he just wasn't. And Caravan didn't have one of his typical Alex Caravan nights.
So here's what I'll say. After the first about 13 minutes, I thought that Klingon did a very good job.
He was more active.
Defensively,
Yeah.
He's never going to be a guy. This idea that you expect him to average 17, well, I'm not saying you specifically. I'm saying people in general, that they expect him to be like a 17 and 12 guy. That's not what he – like, I don't think he's necessarily going to be someone that is going to reproduce the production that you got out of Adonam Sanogo last year. He's not someone you throw it to in the block and expect him to back somebody
Adam
down.
also could step up and make threes last year.
But they're very different players.
Right.
What makes Donovan Klingon so good is what we saw in the second half, what we saw the last 5 minutes of the first half, is his ability to change everything around the basket and make it so Kansas couldn't do anything in the paint in the last 25 minutes of that game.
Right.
And a lot of that has to do with the presence of Donovan Klingon back there. The reason why UConn could be a good defensive team this season when you have Tristen Newton and Cam Spencer as your on-ball defenders right now is because you have the Great Wall of Bristol standing there and around the basket. So, like,
he's still got to be more of an impact guy consistently, Rob. That's the one thing to me. In stretches, you see it, and then in stretches, you're just like, all right, like, I want him. You know what it is? Donovan Klingon is too nice. He's too nice, and sometimes he defers too much. Instead of demanding the ball, go get position in there. Right? Go seal up. Now, again, against Hunter, I know it's a little different, but it's not like Hunter's great defensively, right? Go back him down, get position, call for the ball, and go get it.
I don't know if he necessarily has the moves.
Power.
Here's where he's going to be at his best, is when UConn can run their offense and be able to get somebody coming off of a dribble handoff, off of a ball screen, off of something, getting downhill, and throw the ball up and let him go up and catch it and dunk it.
But you're telling me if he gets deep position, Rob, he can't turn and hit a –
Here's the thing. He has very high hips and a high center of gravity. So when he's going up against – like, if he's going up against someone that is 6'11" and 250 pounds, he can kind of out-muscle them. When you're going up against Hunter Dickinson, who is – probably like an inch shorter and maybe 20 pounds lighter, like, and who has a lower center of gravity and is better at holding position, that's not a great matchup for him to throw the ball into him and let him go to work. Where it is a great matchup is if you can get Tristen Newton coming off of a dribble handoff. All that is to say, you're right. I think they need more out of Klingon. If Klingon's going to be an All-American lottery pick,
he just needs to be more of an MFer.
To me, the biggest issue tonight was, one, Cam Spencer rolled his ankle in the first quarter,
and every shot he took
like
after
everything
that
was short. Like he did not have legs.
Right.
Like he had a wide open look to take the lead with 4 seconds left, and that thing was a foot short. He had a lot of missed shots. Alex Caravan, if he's going to be an NBA player, got to be better than what he was tonight. He fouled out 4 for 11 from the floor. The only 3 that he hit was a wide open 3. So let me ask you this: after seeing this game tonight, you got to put all your chips. You got to take all your money. You got to say, I'm going to take my mortgage, and I'm going to put it on one of these 2 teams to go farther in the NCAA tournament. Who would it be?
Oh, man. Well, here's the caveat to it. I need to see more out of Castle. I need to see Castle. I saw him in the preseason. Saw him a little bit at the beginning of the year. He's obviously a like high level talent and something they need athletically.
There's
on both
two
ends
things
of
that
the
he
court.
provides. One, he's going to be their best on-ball defender.
Yeah.
Two, he's going to be versatile enough. He can guard point guards. He can also
Handle
guard
the
a
ball.
guy like Kevin McCullough, who didn't have
And he
an
can
answer
handle
for.
the ball a little bit.
And
Like,
he can
that's
get to the
other
basket
part.
and break.
Yeah.
What they don't have right now is a guy that can create offense when you
Right.
don't create it out of the sets that Danny Hurley
Yeah,
does.
I would say, like, personnel-wise, I think I like UConn. But I still say, like, I'm never going to bet against Bill Self when it's close.
Well-
And Danny Hurley's a hell of a coach, but he ain't Bill Self.
I love Bill Self. I love Bill Self, and I think that Kansas is still a top 3 to 5 team in America. But you know I'm taking UConn in this situation.
Of course.
No biases.
Of course
Goodman,
you
no
are.
got biases.